by this
time
scourge.
Has expired, and I call the member for Stirling.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. We hear a lot about the total numbers of homeless fellow Australians, and it's easy to forget that every single number reflects a tragic situation impacting an individual and, of course, their family. Let me share with you just one example, and thankfully this example also has a positive outcome. For the last couple of years, I have volunteered as an associate board member of the Veterans Transition Centre located in Jarrahdale in WA. This centre provides a beautiful bush location where veterans and their families can spend time together participating in a growing range of proactive programs. The great majority of veterans transition to civilian life in excellent health and with skills and attitudes that enable them to contribute to both businesses and, of course, society. However, some do struggle, and one such veteran got in touch with the Transition Centre a couple of months ago. Initially, for this homeless veteran, the Veteran Transition Centre, or VTC, was able to provide short-stay accommodation. Whilst the veteran was there, he jumped in and helped with the maintenance of some of the log cabins and other facilities. Within a couple of weeks, a fellow veteran, Karen Hinder, through her agency Working Spirit, was able to secure a FIFO mining job for the veteran. With his feet back on the ground, the veteran sent his first paycheck back to his former wife and children from whom he is separated, and then his next paycheck went to securing a rental property. Now he's started to volunteer his time back at the Veterans Transition Centre, giving back to those veterans who've hit hard times or just need to spend time away from the city. But not everyone has the supporting resources around them to overcome homelessness. So we need to continue to identify organisations who are providing solutions and back them in. Whilst we continue to require reactive services, prevention is far better than cure. In the Coalition, we know that the best form of welfare is, of course, a job, and a job significantly mitigates the risk of homelessness. The Morrison Government has a proven track record of creating 1.5 million jobs since coming to government and has pledged to create another 1.25 million more in the next term. Moving the dial on homelessness has the best chance of success under a model of cooperation between all three tiers of government. However, in WA, although federal funding for homeless services is growing, State Labor have reduced funding for these services. They've also increased fees for utilities and services, adding $850 to household budgets. These mean-spirited actions come as the number of West Australians who have nowhere to live is at record highs, with around 9,000 homeless and 14,000 on the housing wait list. State Labor have also still not released a homelessness strategy, despite the hard-working advocacy of the Shadow Minister for Homelessness, Tony Kristovich MLA. By comparison to Labor, the former Coalition government in WA expanded funding in 2016-17 for homelessness and domestic violence accommodation and support services to $82 million. The federal government has made combating homelessness a priority. Luke Howarth, Assistant Minister for Homelessness, Community Housing and Community Services, is leading the National Housing and Homelessness Agreement, providing $1.5 billion a year to help state and territory governments tackle homelessness. In 2019-20, the government will invest around $4.6 billion in Commonwealth rent assistance to help Australians on low to moderate incomes pay their rent. The government is also providing $78 million for the Safe Places package to ensure women and children experiencing domestic violence have a safe place to sleep. Mr Deputy Speaker, there are great examples happening in local electorates too, like in my electorate of Stirling, where the City of Stirling is really pitching in through its Meals on Wheels program, or Uniting Aid, where I visited recently, who are providing food, support, counselling and other services. These are positive examples upon which we need to continue building so that we can collectively move the dial on homelessness, helping our fellow Australians who are most in need.